better way to kick off the month of October than here in Sarasota, Florida for Cavaliers Training Camp, which means the season is right around the corner. We'd like to extend a heartfelt welcome and thanks so much for joining us here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. As this season, Serena, the Cavs have taken their show on the road.
And out here in beautiful Sarasota, going to have training camp at IMG Academy, the first NBA team to be out here for a training camp, and also the first time the Cavs have taken training camp out of state. All of this came about because of the success they had in Paris, that camaraderie and that connection.
And Serena and John, while we're going to have a lot of fun here in Sarasota this week, there's work to be done. First-year head coach Kenny Atkinson, he's going to have the guys all to himself, try to instill that exciting system of basketball.
John Michael, Serena Winters, Tim Alcorn, we will be here all week, every day for Cavs Training Camp Nightly on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network all the way through Saturday. We're going to be visiting with players, visiting with coaches, talking about some of the big storylines coming into the season, including probably the biggest. A front office that wanted continuity got exactly that, extending 4 core players, headlined by Donovan Mitchell.
We got breaking news. Donovan Mitchell, their 5-time All-Star guard, has agreed to a 3-year, $150.3 million contract extension.
And all year I've been saying the same. Like, I'm saying how much I like it. And every day it's like, oh, he gonna do this, he gonna do that. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I've known for a little bit that this was my decision, but no, it's finally good to have a media day where we're not talking about where I'm to next. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pretty special. And from the minute I got here, I told my mom, and I think it was just like, yo, like, I really like it here. Just the people. It's very convenient to travel, you know, back and forth from where I live and getting around, and traffic's not that bad unless it's 5, obviously, but just the passion from the fans, you know, being able to, the food is good. Like, there's just, you know, I'm a very simple person. I don't, you know, need nothing too crazy. In Cleveland, there's just been amazing to me. And then this is obviously excluding everything that happens on the basketball floor. I just mean as a place to live. For me, I love it here.
Some late-breaking news with the Cavaliers as they have signed Jarrett Allen to a 3-year, $91 million extension.
I'm a fan of the homegrown type of route. You know, every single year with this group, we've gotten better. We've progressed further on every single thing that we did, whether it's winning more games, making it further in the playoffs, or understanding how each other's play. We've become better every single year in a separate facet of that, and I'm excited to see how we put it all together this year.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have agreed to a 5-year, $224 million max extension with forward Evan Mobley.
That's nice for sure. I try not to pay attention to all that in the first place, but it definitely feels nice that we have everyone back, and we know who we're going to rock with, and we're just going to keep building with this team.
One of the last pieces of the Cavs offseason puzzle finally came into view with an Isaac Okoro 3-year extension. I think we are pretty much locked and loaded for what this team is going to look like heading into next year, at least in terms of significant pieces.
It feels good. I mean, like I always want to be back here. I always know I'll come back here. You know, I love Cleveland, so you know, it's good.
And I think we all see that we have a lot we can accomplish as a group, you know, and I said it the other day, like, I believe when we're healthy, we're a championship contending team, but unfortunate part is for the past 2 years, we haven't been a fully healthy team, you know, throughout the year, you know, been different spurts. So now the biggest thing is for us to put those pieces together on the health side, but then also put those pieces together on the floor, you know.
So Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Isaac Okoro. Don't forget also Darius Garland was extended just 2 summers ago, and it provides that runway for this team to thrive together for the foreseeable future.
Look, you look at a team that over the past 2 years had won 99 regular season games. This is about extending the lifeline of that core, and to have this all happen right now, it's been great.
And John, it shows the faith and the trust that the front office has in this core group. They believe this is a group that can contend for a championship.
I tell you what, I'm starting to glisten out here a little bit.
I've been glistening, John.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know.
Lie. Been glistening out here.
This white shirt and this humidity, it does not have much of a chance.
We're trying to keep our cool, though.
Yeah, so we're going to head over to IMG Academy. Loaded show. Donovan Mitchell and Koby Altman. We're going to have Donovan when we come back when Cavs Training Camp Nightly returns. And here we are on the lovely campus of IMG Academy, and as promised, here he is. It is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, you have a really critically important responsibility right now. You are the first ever guest on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. I know you're used to excelling in big situations. I just hope this one isn't too big.
I hope I don't let you guys down.
Yeah, well,
I hope I don't let you guys down.
we certainly hope the same. Hey, Donovan, we were laughing, off the set about the national narrative by some that Donovan Mitchell was going to end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yet from the very beginning, you've been consistent. You've only said, I want to be here. This is my place to play basketball. Take us through what it is about the city and what it is about this organization that led you yesterday to say on Media Day, Cleveland is my home.
Yeah, I mean, from the jump, the organization, it's great to be with a group of guys that want to win at the highest level. My teammates, got the coaching staff, you got the front office, you got ownership. Like, they just show it. A lot of things it's how you go about it, how you go about your day. Like, we put the most money into, like, the Paris trip, like making sure everybody feels comfortable, making sure everybody feels good with the training staff, making sure, like, everything going into basketball is top priority. I think that was something that really stood out to me. And then my teammates, man, we get along with each other, man. I love these guys, and we're continuing to grow. There's a big development there. There's a lot of growth still to be had. Sorry, I've been talking all day in practice, so my voice
It's a good sign. No, that's good.
My voice is shot, but continuous development. And, at the end of the day, like I said yesterday at Media Day, like, it's not, we don't just trade for somebody and then you just win a championship. You have to grow together. You have to find ways to continue. You have to struggle together. And, we've been in some slumps. We've been in the trenches. And, I feel like this is a group that we can continue to push with and move forward. And then, obviously, the city. I told people, like, outside of just hooping, man, like, this is a life decision. This isn't just like a basketball decision where, like, all right, I signed for 3 years. This is where I live. Like, this is where I want to be. And the people are great. I get to watch other sports teams, which is big to me. Being able to go to Browns games, Guardians games, having a great time, and just the people are great. They take their pictures, but they leave you alone. They let you be, they're very personal, let you just be by yourself and chill. And it's definitely easy to communicate. It's what's it called? Travel around the city as well.
Look, I think fans are seeing us here. We've got your teammates in the background. You said it yourself. You're already losing your voice because you're talking through practice. Media day all day yesterday. But take us through, like, this is the first day of training camp. What's different? What did you guys do today? What were the biggest focuses? What's it like? Give the fans a sense of what it's like to be here for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of attention to detail. I think with Kenny, obviously you have a new staff, so not only is it training camp, but now you have a new group coming in. So now, the good thing about Kenny is he's not changing, a lot defensively. We're kind of going back to what really was what we were good at. But then offensively, putting guys in different spots, different ball handlers, not so many plays, just concepts and reads. And sometimes you got to go through that with a new, even if you have the same group. You got to continuously go through that. And, it's more intense, but it's definitely sharper. When you're there the past month, it's more pickup, free-flowing, having fun, and we're still having fun, but, like, it's different. Now it's more like, all right, when we play Boston, it's this. When we play Philly, it's this. You got a shooter, we're doing this. You got a non-shooter, we guard it like that. Just being able to go over, like, little game plan things here and there at a finer pace.
Donovan, it's well documented your reaction when you were traded to Cleveland. You were out on the golf course, you were high-fiving people, you were so excited. When you heard the news about Kenny Atkinson, the NBA players are a pretty tight-knit group. What had you heard, and what was your excitement level when you heard about Kenny Atkinson coming to Cleveland?
It's funny. So I've known Kenny since the day I got drafted. We hosted a private workout. I don't know if he's told y'all the story. We hosted a private workout at the school that I went to in Greenwich, Connecticut. It was just him and this Brooklyn staff. My mom was there and my agent. Like, that was a secret workout. And I chose that gym because I'm like, bet, I've been here my whole life. I'm going to make every shot. Probably the worst workout I've had, like, in my entire draft process. So that's why that was my first, like, that's where Kenny's first impression of me and my first impression of him. And I'm like, man, like, all right, probably not going to get drafted by Brooklyn. So to be here all these years later, it's kind of full circle. But I've heard nothing but great things about Kenny as a person, as a human. Like I said, when he first got the job, not only did he fly here, but he was texting on the flight, waking up 4 a.m. his time to make sure it was midday for me, like, just going over schemes, going over different things. And he's a player's coach. That's all I've heard from everybody I've spoken to. We're glad to have him.
4 players this summer The young core gets re-signed. Darius Garland just 2 summers ago signed an extension as well. What does this team need to do to take those next steps? You have the continuity. You have players who know each other's game. Where do you take those next steps this season?
I think it's with us, within our own growth. At the end of the day, we've taken some lumps, we've had success, but now how do we continually put it together? Last year was great. Obviously we had injuries. We were plagued with the injury bug all year, but we continued to fight through adversity. And I just felt like when you can easily count us out in so many different scenarios, when DG and Ev got hurt, even though we lost the Boston series, I give a lot of credit and respect to everybody that was out there on that floor. We didn't get, people had us rolling off, getting blown out or whatever, but we're in these games. We're fighting, we're battling. That speaks a lot about the character of this group. We're a team that fights and competes. And I always say, when we're healthy, I believe we're a championship contending team. But I can tell you guys this 1,000 times, but ultimately, this is where it starts. This is how we go about it, and it starts with us.
Donovan, it all starts here, but it's a long journey ahead. And so many teams in the Eastern Conference have made moves, and you're a basketball fan just as much as you are a player. When you see a trade of Cat to New York and you see Paul George to Philly and you look at the Eastern Conference, do you look at those moves as how it impacts those teams or how it impacts the Cavs versus those teams?
Yeah, definitely. This is an entertainment league. So, there's going to be the tweets, there's going to be the talk shows, there's going to be, the big news. And I feel like, that's what makes this league so great. You know what I mean? You look at, like I said, Cat got traded 3 days ago. Here it's like a bomb, like a Woj bomb. Shout out to Woj, by the way,
There's no
for
Woj
retiring.
bombs anymore.
I know it's no more Woj bombs, but that's what makes this league great, the excitement of it. But for us as basketball players, and we're in it, at the end of the day, it's okay, how do we match up? How do we find ways to get better? Teams have gotten better, but so have we. You know what I mean? I think, looking at it, from a fan perspective, it's definitely man, you try to go out and do different things, but we believe that, we have what we have right here and we're good. So we got to go out there, and when you see those trades, there's definitely okay, cool, they made that move, but at the end of the day, they still got to see us and we still got to see them at the end of the day. And I think there's a respect on both sides, and we'll be ready to go.
By the way, NBA trivia question, what was the final Woj bomb?
Oh, Isaac Okoro.
Yeah.
Isaac Okoro. Isaac Okoro's deal.
Re-up by the Cavaliers. Final thing, Donovan, before we let you go, in terms of our fans, what they can expect maybe a little bit differently out on the floor this year. Kenny talked about getting you more catch-and-shoot opportunities, not having to work so hard for all of your buckets, for all of your points. What can we expect?
I think the pace. I think seeing us move up the floor. I'm not going to say we're going to be the Sacramento Kings as far as pace goes, but we're going to continue to move the ball up the floor, get different guys in different positions. I think last 2 years we've been, trying to figure it out, calling plays and different things like that. So I think for now, just continuing to push the pace. Eb is going to be more aggressive this year. I talked to Eb a lot this year. It's going to be a big season for him. I'm truly excited for what Eb's got coming for everybody this year. So it starts with us, and starts with him and myself and DG and JA, and just continuing to push the pace and play free-flowing offense.
Well, certainly for all of us, for all of Cavs country, thank you, and we're happy to have you in the mix for the foreseeable future.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, we will roll along. Coming up next, Koby Altman, President of Basketball Operations, right here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. Hey, welcome back to Cavs Training Camp Nightly. We promised you heavy hitters, and heavy hitters we have. Here he is, Koby Altman, President of Basketball Ops. Koby, it's been strange. Every time I've seen you the last few weeks, you've had a smile on your face. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. What an off season you had.
It's been awesome. First of all, congratulations, the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. I don't have any gear. I was saying, when can I?
See, this
my
is the
my
theme
good
we've heard.
buddy
Everybody
CEO
wants
Nick
gear.
Barlage.
Yeah.
He said there was going to be really exclusive gear down here, and so I'm looking at this. It looks great. So I love being on Rock. So let's get it going. That's part of the reason I'm smiling.
Yep, very nice. Very nice.
But we're excited. I think it was a great off season, a very methodical off season to keep, really quite simply, our best players in town.
You talk about it being methodical. What were the priorities coming in, and take us through how it played out?
I mean, first and foremost was getting Donovan to sign the extension. But really it was a 2-year process, right? When you have a superstar of his caliber, you bring him to town, you show him, one, you can have really successful years in Cleveland, some of the best years of your career, and you can see yourself having a future here. And so it wasn't just the July that we started to have those conversations. It really was for 2 years of him envisioning what this franchise was going to be about. He was always very excited about the possibilities. He saw what we were surrounding him with, and also the talent level already in the building, right? and how we're going to continue to grow this thing. And so it started with him. So you get that extension from, a Donovan Mitchell. It really sets the stage for the rest of your free agency. And so you get Evan Mobley done next, and to have him in a Cavaliers uniform for at least the next 6 years is monumental, really. And after those two are done, you have the conversation with Jared and say, Jared, what do you think? And he's always been all in on this play. So he tacks on 3 years. And at the tail end of the offseason, we got Isaac Okoro done. And you know how important he is. And so, it might not have been the splashiest of offseason, but it was really intentional and we think very successful.
So you get to run it back with this group that clearly just being here for the few hours we've been here at training camp, all the good vibes have certainly carried over. But while running it back with this team, you've got a new coach at the helm. So why Kenny Atkinson?
So a few things is, one, this group still has great upside. And so when you say running it back, absolutely, same cast of characters. But Evan Mobley's 23 and Darius Garland's 24. And when you think about the youth and the maturation, that's where Kenny comes in, right? And I think there's a few things you can do to improve your roster, right? And we've done that, whether that's trade, free agency. Obviously, we've done really well in the draft. But the fourth thing that people don't talk about is internal development. And Kenny is a stalwart at that. We know from his credentials and where he's been, he's great at developing young talent. And we know for us to reach our peak, Evan Mobley has to become really, really good in this league. He already is good, but let's unlock him. Let's unlock Darius Garland. Let's continue the maturation of Jared Allen. And by the way, Donovan Mitchell continue to get better. And so, Kenny makes his bones in player development. We certainly hired him because of that. I also love the fact that the last 3 years he's been on conference finals teams, and so coaching at that level, obviously the international games, and so coaching in that gold medal game was huge for him as well. And so I think he's going to be a great addition for this team. Definitely a new approach. Definitely going to fine-tune some things. And definitely make Evan Mobley a priority.
I mean, hey, we've already seen Evan out here in training camp. He's clearly put on some muscle. That's good to see.
Put on some muscle, handling the basketball. A big contract extension. He's feeling good.
Yeah, he's feeling good.
Koby, first of all, thanks for having us here at IMG in
man.
Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
This is the way to do training camp. There's no doubt about that. So thank you for that. But those of us in the media, we love storylines. For you, what's the storyline here in training camp? What's something that you in the front office are keeping an eye on?
I think, it's like I said, it's not splashy, but the continuity of this group. And the fact that we've had 2 years under our belt, us continue to build and grow is huge. And, really in terms of, our guards, our bigs, our young guys, we're excited. And I think for us, to win 99 games the last 2 years has been huge. To make a conference semifinals has been huge. We're still about the process. It's still about the everyday, incrementally getting better. And even, the first practice to watch Kenny Atkinson put in an end of game scenario. He's already thinking about, we're going to be in these scenarios a lot this year. Let's start to work on them on day one. And I love that. I love that about
No
Kenny.
doubt.
Koby, before we let you go, you sent a message to Northeast Ohio. You sent a message to this league with the re-signing, with the extension of so many players and keeping this core together and giving them that runway to have success as a unit. If you do have a message now for our fans out there, what can they expect this season?
It's exciting basketball. Yeah. Every year we've been here, we've gotten better, and we keep continuing to grow this thing. I think what they should be excited about is a group of players that love Cleveland, love Northeast Ohio. You hear Donovan talk about Cleveland as a town and city. That's awesome, right? Now we've become a destination. And so I feel like let's have a high self-esteem about this city, about this organization, and where we're going. And to your point, to extend the lifeline of a young core like this is rare. To have continuity like this in the NBA is rare. And we have an ownership group that continues to invest in this group, invest in this franchise, transform downtown with our new practice facility coming online in a couple years. And so we have great things in the works, not just this year, but for years to come. And so, not that they're not on board, but get on board. It's going to be a fun season. But we have set this thing up for a long runway of exciting basketball.
Already sensational, and it's only going to get better. Thanks so much, Koby. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this. More Cavs Training Camp Nightlies straight ahead. We are back to wrap things up. Day one of Cavaliers Training Camp in the books. What a show it was. What a day it was out here.
Are you kidding me? We had Donovan Mitchell and Koby Altman on day one, and to steal some words from Darius Garland, vibes were just good here. And speaking of Darius, little tease for you, he is going to be on our show sitting in this chair tomorrow.
Yeah, high energy, high intensity day. Speaking of high energy and high intensity, new Cavs head coach Kenny Atkinson will also be on the show tomorrow.
So that's what's on tap. Head coach Kenny Atkinson, Darius Garland, same time, same place, Rock Entertainment Sports Network. We will see you tomorrow on Cavs Training Camp Nightly.